What's up, guys? Hi, thanks for being here. The entire nation is celebrating our entry to the Oscars. This time, it happens to be a Gujarati movie called Chello, the last show movie. What is this movie all about? Well, it's the story of a 9-year-old kid named Samay and his love for films and how he passionately falls in love with movies. And so very apt as we celebrate National Cinema Day. With me on the show right now is one of the editors who's worked on this movie, PAVAN Bhatt, one of the most talented editors out there. PAVAN, welcome. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show. It's really a pleasure to be on the show. I've been following your show since forever, and it feels awesome to be part of this.
No, this is such a proud moment for everyone here. The amount of work, the amount of sweat that's gone into this movie is simply incredible. By the way, this movie has already won its accolades in plenty of international film festivals and forums. But to tell you a little bit about Pavan, he is someone who is multi-talented in the movie industry, freelance film editor, video editor, also a filmmaker based out of Mumbai and Bengaluru. He's actively been involved in the ad industry, making documentaries, also music videos. He's a computer engineer, and he also holds a diploma in filmmaking from Whistling Wood International in Mumbai. Not only the last film show, but he has worked as an editor, including films such as Bhasmasur by Nashil Seth, Nirmal Anand Ki Pappi by Sandeep Mohan. In addition, he also is into teaching as well. He served as a editing professor at Miami Ad School, Mumbai, and DICE Vancouver Film School in Mumbai. Pavan, this must be such a proud moment for everyone. Talk to me about what the vibe was when you got to know that the film has been selected as India's official entry to the Oscars.
I think the first emotion we all felt was surprise. All our team members were, very pleasantly surprised, to be honest. Because of course, like, we didn't have very high expectations, but at the same time, there's this little inkling that, your film might make it because you've put in all your, sweat, blood and tears into it, into making the film. So, we had this slight feeling that, why not? Why not? We might as well make it, But then we didn't have very high expectations. And of course, we were up against really big heavyweights in the category, and it came out as a very, very, very pleasant surprise, and we were all very joyful and very elated when the news came out.
Now, to the uninitiated, guys, an anatomy of a movie, there's so much that goes into it. There is the production process of it, and then there is the post-production process of it. Pavan is an editor, so he gets to sit on the edit table and decide how the movie looks. Now, Pavan, talk to me about when this movie came to your edit table and how long the process has been for you on the post-production table.
Actually, funnily, on this film, I was also part of the production process. I was also part of, the entire production stage, including the principal photography, which is also known as the shooting stage of the film.
Yeah.
So I was also part of that. And we spent quite a few months shooting the film in really tough terrains in Gujarat, Gir Forest, and, Amreli, Lathi, and a lot of different, really amazing and unexplored towns and villages from the Saurashtra region in Gujarat. So Pan Nalan is, of course, the director of the film, is a native of that state. He's from Gujarat and he was born and brought up there. So this film is actually a semi-autobiographical account of his life. And it's more about his passion for cinema. So, and that's being reflected through the main character of the film, Samay, to be honest. So it was quite a hectic process given the weather, like some of our hotel rooms were flooded and it never rains in that part of Gujarat. And funnily, when we were shooting that year, a lot of locations ended up looking very different because of the rains. And, a lot of our places were flooded and, it was quite a hectic schedule, to be honest. But we braved it all and we came out with some really nice looking footage. The principal photography was done by Swapnil Sonamane and Linesh Desai. They're both from Bombay. And they've done an amazing job. Not just them, I mean, the entire team has come together and, really put it together. I feel. So yeah, I was part of that. And since the principal photography stage or the production stage, right up to the point we are at now, I think it's been a 3.5-year journey for all of us.
Three
Even
and a
longer
half
for,
years.
yeah, so far, and even long, of course, not continuously, but on and off. Maybe like a year of intense work and then 2 more years of on and off duties and work for us. But for the director and the producers of the film, it's been a very hectic and very, like long process. They've been part of this even before the production stage. So to even put these things together, to bring the team together and, like make this film happen, it's kudos to them. It's
Wow.
really like their brainchild, and like I'd really like to thank the producers, the director, and the entire team, like for coming together and making this an amazing experience.
Man, that really goes on to show how focused and how visionary the people who are involved need to be, because come what may, the vision of a film still needs to be executed. Of course, you may have a lot of pivots, you may take a few deviations here and there, but the end product is something that matters, and clearly it's hit a certain sweet spot. Pavan, they say editors have a lot of powers in their hands. Of course, you get to chop things off, irrespective of how an actor feels, whether they have performed really well or not. But how effective is great acting? And you must have a good sense of good acting from bad acting. And is it a combined call that you take with the director?
Yes, absolutely. That's something we always like discuss as a team, because acting, again, like performances are very subjective, as you may know. Like some people may like certain types of performances, whereas others might not. So that's where the team really comes in and like discusses these things, and that I think really helps. And also, more so, the performances for us are more subservient to the overall story or the story that we're trying to narrate. So I feel that's where we would take performance into consideration. Performances can be of various types, but what drives the story is what matters to us. Sometimes there are really great shots in which the actors have performed extremely well, but it might not be the crux or the vibe of the film. So many a times we've had to reject such elements. So the actors have come, not in this film, but generally, like I've seen like a lot of people complain about editors cutting out some really intense bits. But really, to be honest, it's more so to drive your storytelling towards finesse and perfection, I would say. And it's a team call, totally, especially with the director at the helm of
Yeah.
things. I think it's his call. Yeah.
Blame the director.
No, I didn't. No, off the record, please.
Also, big
Just
shout
kidding.
out.
Just kidding.
Yeah, big shout out going out to Shreyas Beltangadi as well. Both of you
Yes,
together
yes.
worked as editors on this
Yes,
film.
we've both worked on this film, and it's been a very, very great experience, because I used to assist Shreyas many years ago. I assisted him on this film called Angry Indian Goddesses. And that's where I met Shreyas, Pan Nalan, and a bunch of really amazing human beings, and with whom I've, worked ever since. Not just worked, I wouldn't call it work nowadays. It's more that we jam and, we creatively collaborate on stuff. So it's been like quite an amazing journey, with all these amazing human beings.
Right.
I would
So,
call them human beings and not filmmakers. First human beings and then, of course, the filmmakers. So they are like they're like family now for me. So it's amazing to have worked with them and collaborated with them again on this.
right. Pavan, you did mention that when you're working on the film, you sometimes have a hunch. Did you ever think that this is going to be the film? And when you were working on it, what was your idea? Did you go, this is a powerful film? Because you were involved in the production stage of this movie and the post as well. Did you feel, man, this is so very exciting that I get to work on this project? Whether it goes all the way or no, it's another day's story altogether.
The fact that this film is about cinema, had me at the very first word go. So I think when the director of the film, Pan Nalan, told me that it's about the overall, passion for cinema that he has and he exudes, and about his own story, childhood story, more so. that really had me fascinated, because I've been a very ardent fan of Pan Nalin, the director, even before I started working with him or met him, because I'd watched a lot of his films during my college days, and like I'd basically wanted to meet this person, for a long time, and it was a dream come true, to be honest, to work with someone like Pan Nalin. And when he told me that it's his life story and he wants to make this in his hometown in Gujarat, uh, Saurashtra region of Gujarat, I was like, you need not say anything more, and I'm on it. Whatever you need me to do, I'm on it. Let's go ahead. So we were really raring to go, and it was a long process, the overall shooting process, like I told you earlier. So when things finally came together, of course, we were very excited to view it, analyze it, and put it all together. But while working on it, every shot was so beautifully made, or maybe shot. We didn't even feel like rejecting any of the shots, that came to us. To be honest, we were all awed by the beauty of, all the things that were shot. And Gujarat as such, especially the Saurashtra region, it's untapped and unexplored beauty, So it was really refreshing to see something like that. And I guess when the audience sees the film, I'm sure they'll see something fresh and new too. Let's at
Yeah.
least hope so. Yeah.
When you go on the internet now, people are busy trying to get their hands on the film. Now they know that there is a movie called Chello, and how does one get to watch it? I'd say it's releasing in select cinemas on October 14th. Make sure you catch it there. After all, it is India's entry to the Oscars, and there's so much of work that's gone into this movie. Now you're getting to know about all of this. Kudos once again, Pavan. And I must say, I'm someone who's known Pavan for so many years. I have known him from when he was a little baby, and to now being part of this project. You're someone who stayed true to indie films. Whenever I've met you as well, I've asked you, wow, will there ever be a crossover? But you have stuck to your guns, and it must feel great to see a movie go up to this level. But Pavan, even now, will there ever be a crossover, or are you going to keep working on independent films?
I think for me, life is independent cinema and vice versa, I guess. So, of course, this is what keeps me motivated as a filmmaker and as an artist and as a creative person, and also as a technical person when I'm editing. So I feel if I stay true to what I love and what I admire, I think I can do wonders probably. So this is where I'm coming from. But sure, like I'm always open to options, and I'm always looking forward to new and interesting explorations and creative experiments. So I'm always open to things. But independent life is my is my major calling, so to speak. So I think that's what I'm going to stick to. And like you said, I've stuck to my guns, and I'm glad it's helped me in the long run. It's been a long and arduous journey, but to be honest, to have reached this point, it's a big thing for not just me, my family, and like everyone else, who's known me for all these years. Yeah. So it's a very warm and proud feeling, to be honest.
Right, Pavan, there is one side to the movie industry where there are plenty of conversations happening about Bollywood doesn't have it anymore, and South films seem to be rising, and conversations of that nature. And when it comes to parallel cinema, we see some incredible movies, and it's a shame that not everyone may get exposed to movies and brilliant work that's happening side by side here. I've always seen you admire movies such as Tumbad, and there are so many other films out there. Are there a couple of movies that you may want to recommend to people, and talk about people whose work you admire in indie scene?
Well, there are a lot of indie filmmakers that I admire. Uh, of course, we have filmmakers that I've personally worked with, and I would recommend any day to any film buff out there. I've worked with directors like Bhaskar Hazarika, who's made some really amazing films like Kothanodi and Amis. And then we have Reema Das, who's like a one-woman army. And she was India's official entry to the Oscars in 2018, 17, 18, before the Village Rock Stars. So I've also had the pleasure of working with her on her films. And of course, we have Sandeep Mohan, who is a one-man army and who's worked on films like Danny Goes Home, and Nirmalanti Bappi that I've edited myself. Uh, and we have a lot of interesting filmmakers. We have Aditya Vikram Sen Gupta, we have Kaushik Mukherjee from Kolkata, we have many interesting indie filmmakers. I'm sorry, I cannot probably go on naming because there are a lot of people I admire and would love to, probably explore. But I think it would be unfair if I just keep naming, a few and just ignore the rest. So I'll probably just say that, whatever like suits you and whatever like inspires you is probably what you should go and check out. And indie cinema is that. It's a treasure house of content. And you have a lot of interesting and independent, filmmakers in the country, even from some of the lesser known towns and villages who have made some amazing stuff out there. So I would totally recommend, the film audiences to be a little more open-minded when it comes to consuming all types of cinema, because sometimes it's popular belief that something that's out in the media is what is popular and what is cinema. But then there are also a lot of different, and unknown films that need to be explored and that need to go out there to the audience. So I feel I would also request the audiences, to probably give it a little bit of effort. And of course, we as filmmakers also need to be a little more proactive when it comes to putting out word about our films. So I think it's a combination of both. It's a collective sort of responsibility of both the audience as well as the makers to ensure that there is some sort of a meeting point, so to speak.
Right. One of the chief heads who was involved in officiating and sending this movie as India's entry to the Oscars mentioned that movies such as RRR or any other movie was not even close. However, celebrating National Cinema Day, this had to be the choice for the amount of beautiful work that's gone in. So I can't wait to watch Chello, the last film show. So really looking forward for this. But Pavan, now that you've reached this stage, I think we are all keeping a close eye on the Academy Awards 2023.
Yes,
I'm
fingers
sure
crossed.
I'm sure plenty of conversations have already gone in on your WhatsApp groups and conversations, but if you guys see it through till the very end, it must be something else altogether. We are gunning for you. Let's hope for the best. But thank you once again for spending time with us, and kudos on the brilliant work that's gone in. Anything that you may want to share about your team that's worked on this together, and just the lead up to the Oscars must be so very anxious altogether, right?
Yeah, we are totally excited, but at the same time, maybe nervous isn't the right word, but we are like gunning for it in some way. But also we know at some point we'll have to put our best foot forward to make sure that the film reaches the audience that we might deserve. So the film is, of course, releasing on the 14th of October in select cinemas, as you pointed out. So it would really be a great thing if the audiences could go there in numbers and watch the film and, talk about the film, spread some buzz about the film and, generally, share their opinions and maybe critiques on what they felt about the film as such. That would really go a long way for independent filmmakers and in general, I'm saying, not just for this film. So I think I'm really anxious and looking forward to the audience's response and reactions on the film. And I don't think there's a bigger platform than the Indian theatrical release. OTTs are always there, but the Indian theatrical release has been a different experience, for all filmmakers. And that's what a lot of filmmakers aspire for, to see their films on the big screen. So I think it's great that we are getting like a platform, and we have Siddharth Roy Kapoor, who's basically distributing the film in India under his banner, and can't get bigger than that, because for a person like him to put his trust on our film and to actually support us wholeheartedly, it means a lot to us, the entire team, in fact. So I'd love to thank all the team members who have worked on this, who put a lot of effort and a lot of work really wholehearted work again for the last 3.5 or odd years, some even longer. 3.5 years for most people, but a lot of other people have maybe worked longer on this. So, it's finally come together, and after like having a really good run at the festivals, international film festivals, and winning major awards, and even releasing theatrically in numerous countries abroad, I'm so happy to finally see the film in India, because nothing can probably replace that feeling.
I bet. Well, hoping for the best, Pavan Bhatt. Thank you so very much, brother, for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Look forward to catching up with you. Take care. See you soon. Fever.